Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here for the first time, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. My name's Hannah, and on this channel I post a lot of anti-MLM content, so as always, I have a playlist linked at the beginning of every video. This is my big anti-MLM playlist, almost 170 videos on it, but also if there's a certain type of video that you like to watch in particular, like these top fails, or like the horror stories, or like deep dives, there's also smaller playlists on my channel as well if you like to binge one type in particular. And for today, as you already know, is another MLM Top Fails video. This is compilation style where people send me content from social media, typically posted by people in MLM companies, or sometimes just really notable anti-MLM news or big things that I think you should be aware of in the movement. People send all that stuff my way, I sift through it, and I pick out the best of the best for that week's video. So if you see anything on social media that you think would be a good fit for these videos, I would love it if you would send it my way. The instructions for how to do that are down below. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into it. The first topic for this video is a big piece of anti-MLM news. I feel like I've been starting a lot of my top fails videos this way because I want you to be aware of these big things that are going on kind of as the news breaks about them. And today's piece of news is that 3 doTERRA reps were charged with making unfounded claims that their oils can cure. The link to this article will be below, and it was published on the FTC website on March 3rd, and it says, essential oils and supplements to prevent, treat, or cure COVID-19. If it smells fishy to you, the FTC agrees. According to the FTC, 3 high-level distributors for Utah-based multi-level marketing company doTERRA broke the law because they didn't have scientific proof to back up their health benefit claims. The complaints filed by the Department of Justice on the FTC's behalf says that each defendant, a pediatrician, a nurse practitioner, and a former registered nurse, claimed during a series of webinars that doTERRA's products could prevent, treat, or cure COVID-19. The FTC says they touted their medical expertise in promoting doTERRA's products. To settle the lawsuits, each defendant has agreed to pay a $15,000 penalty. The 3 defendants also agreed to stop making claims that aren't approved by the FDA about preventing, treating, curing COVID-19. And the defendants will have to have scientific proof for any health claim they make. My first reaction to this is hallelujah. Finally, we are seeing some kind of repercussions for the actions of people in MLMs. I know this is a drop in the ocean of misleading and deceptive claims that are made in MLM companies, but it's something. To be clear, making unfounded health claims is against the policy of MLM companies. The reps are not allowed to be making certain claims that their products have the ability to treat, cure, or prevent any kind of disease or illness. However, as we know, if you watch a lot of my videos, that does not stop anybody, okay? Just because it's not allowed by the policies and procedures of the company doesn't mean that their reps don't still do it. They do, they just hope that they're not going to get caught. And in most cases, they don't get caught. That's why deceptive health claims are running rampant in MLM companies, is because the company provides language in their legal documents that this isn't allowed, but they also don't do a good job enforcing it, which in their defense, it's really difficult to enforce such a thing, right? They can't spy on every single Zoom call and every single DM and every single personal conversation to make sure that their reps are in compliance. But in this case, somehow, some way, these deceptive marketing claims were reported to the FTC and they were taken seriously, and now legal action is being taken because of it. This is so rare to see. And there's 2 things that are jumping out to me about this article. The first thing is that all of these doTERRA reps are healthcare professionals, pediatrician, a nurse practitioner, and a former registered nurse. And the article even says that these people were kind of using their professional background to help bolster their claims, to help give credibility to what they're saying. You would think, you would hope that people in their professional position would understand how and why claiming oils can cure is problematic. You would hope that they would have the wherewithal to understand that that is a bogus claim that can't be substantiated by research or evidence, and that they would not perpetuate that misinformation, but yet they still do. That is beyond me. When we see outrageous health claims made by MLM reps, I typically say something along the lines of like, don't listen to this MLM person on Instagram because they don't have any credentials, they're not professionals, they just have a money motive, they just have a product to sell you, they don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to them them listen to a healthcare provider. That's typically my advice. But here we have healthcare providers being the ones to spread that misinformation and that pseudoscience surrounding essential oils. Oh, it's just baffling. You would think that they would know better. You would think that their professional background would, first of all, prevent them from falling for an essential oil scam. And secondly, that they would possess the critical thinking skills necessary to recognize that those health claims about essential oils are not rooted in science or evidence, but apparently not, and that's terrifying. The second thing from the article that's jumping out to me is that it specifies that these doTERRA reps were making these claims during, quote, a series of webinars. To me, that translates into Zoom calls, most likely. I think it's a pretty safe bet to assume that they're talking about perhaps like a team training call that happened on Zoom, where the uplines, these healthcare professionals, are training their downline members on how they can use doTERRA oils to treat or cure, right? And that doesn't surprise me in the least. We see Zoom calls all the time, training on a variety of different topics, all of which are just spewing false information. And that's a really compelling part of the story here, because MLM Zoom calls happen every single day. And they are hosted by reps from all companies of all different ranks on a variety of different topics. And these Zoom calls are somewhat of a private space. They're often password protected, like you have to be a member of the team to gain access to it, or at least know somebody who has the password, or know somebody who got a recording of the call after the fact and then they can send it to you. So naturally, you can kind of understand how that's problematic in the context of something like unfounded health claims. It kind of feels like they're making these claims behind closed doors, so to speak. It's somewhat of a private and protected setting where they might not necessarily think that whatever they're saying is going to get out one day. They're not posting these claims on social media for all to see. They're not getting on stage at a conference and claiming these things. They're just hosting what to them likely feels like an innocent private Zoom call. And to an extent, they can get away with saying whatever they want and claiming whatever they want, typically without repercussions. Now, in this case, of course, there are repercussions, and that's a really good thing, but it's also a really rare thing to see. Again, a drop in the ocean compared to all of the misleading claims that are spewed on Zoom calls every single day. It's a massive industry-wide issue in which people are straight up lying to their teammates about what their company's products have the power to do, and that's really dangerous. So I love to see that action is being taken like this. It affirms to me that progress is being made and that somebody is actually listening. I've reported several things to the FTC. I've reported several things to the companies themselves, and it kind of feels like you're just screaming into the void a little bit, and it gets really discouraging after a while because you feel like no one's listening and no one cares, and the problem never gets resolved. But then you see things like this that kind of reignite that fire, and it gives me hope that one day MLM companies and their reps will be cracked down on harder and will be forced to follow more strict regulations. The one thing that I don't have the answer to at this time is how the FTC found out about these Zoom calls. I don't know who reported it. I don't know who gave them access to the calls. And if I did, I'd love to give that person credit. But unfortunately, this only came to my attention very recently after the lawsuit was settled, so I don't have any details beyond that. But whoever you are in the world, thank you for taking these Zoom calls and sending them to the FTC and bringing this to their attention, because ultimately, if we don't tell the FTC about it, they're never gonna know. So all in all, this is really refreshing to see. I'm hoping that this can serve as an example of the consequences of making unfounded health claims in what you perceive to be a private setting. And I'm hoping that going forward, MLM reps from all companies will look at this and keep this in the back of their minds as they're moving forward and deciding how they're going to promote their products and the types of claims they're going to be making about them. Okay, the next thing on our list, I cracked up when I saw this video for the first time, so I'm not going to preface it with anything. I want you to have the revelation of how ridiculous this is on your own, okay?
Do the math, and we're going to go to Target for shampoo. But first, we have to hit up the dollar spot. Okay, first of all, guys, just so you know. Okay, so let's go with the clean one. We're looking at shampoo and conditioner for $11.99 each. Now let's add a serum or a styling product. We'll get $40, $20, $17, $18. Whatever you do, do not get a dry shampoo that has butane listed as its #1 ingredient. Oh snap, I needed one of these. Oh yeah, and some of those. Might as well. And of course, can't forget the Starbucks. Now that we're home, we realized that we spent $200 and forgot the shampoo. Like, did I really need all this? A better option is to become my VIP, get discounts, free shipping, all of the good. Grab yourself a scalp scrub, a super moisture mask, or any mask for your hair type. We're going to snag you a free Rejuva beads. And look at this. You're going to get your entire hair care system for $32. And I mean, just more discounts here. So you're going to get $10 off your next order, and you're going to walk out with less than what I spent at Target. You're welcome.
Just when you think you've seen it all. She made a whole video about how Monate hair care is cheaper than the hair care you can buy at Target, because when you go to Target, you run the risk of spending money on things that aren't hair care. I think I just lost brain cells. She shows a picture of her receipt, and if you look closely, you can see that she didn't buy any hair care at all. She spent $209 on things like makeup, lampshades, a wreath, an Apple product, a vase. I feel stupid for having to explain this right now, but for the record, just because you spent $209 at Target, none of which was spent on hair care, by the way, does not mean that Monate hair care is not expensive. This is what's known as a red herring fallacy. This is her attempt at trying to refute an argument by presenting information that is completely unrelated to the original argument. The original argument that she's trying to address is that Monate hair care is really expensive, and you can buy hair care products for much cheaper at Target. And her red herring that she's throwing out there is, well, if you go to Target, you run the risk of spending money on things that aren't hair care. Ma'am, that's not at all what we're talking about. That's not the issue at hand here. The argument still stands that Monate hair care is more expensive than hair care brands sold at Target. Don't try and distract us with all this unrelated information. The absolute mental gymnastics that this woman had to put herself through to come up with this video idea, to execute it, to edit it, and then post it online is astounding. This does not make logical sense whatsoever. People are saying, dang, Monate shampoo is really expensive. And she's saying, oh yeah, well, you can buy lampshades at Target. Oh my goodness. Like, I just want to smash my head against a wall. In what world does this make any sense? I can't tell you. Hate to tell you this, but Monate hair care is still really expensive. And this video is a massive fail. Next up is a series of 4 photos that a Monate rep posted to her Instagram story. And the important thing to know is that each of these photos were posted one after another in the order that I'm going to show you. And that's relevant. Also, trigger warning for the loss of a pet. This doesn't seem to be a tragic loss of a pet, I don't believe, but it's still a loss nonetheless. So the first photo that gets posted is a picture of her with her cat, and it says, "You truly were the absolute best cat in the world. Thank you for all the years of joy and love you brought us." The very next slide she posts within the same hour says, "I won't be on my phone at all today, but this oil is buy one get one free right now, and I don't want my VIPs to miss out. If you want one, swipe up or text me. We're missing our last 15 sales for Vegas, so if 15 of you want 2 oils for the price of 1, you know where to find me. Until then, we're going to spend time grieving as a family. Thank you for your understanding." Then the next thing she posts, like an hour later, says, "I vomited twice in the past hour because my body literally can't handle the fact that we'll never dance together again in the kitchen and snuggle in bed together. I feel so broken." And then immediately after that photo, she reposts this reel promoting the Monate Rejuvenique oil, and it says, "Buy one, get one free." So I have 2 impressions of what's going on here. My first impression, of course, is that this is really sad to see that this girl is going through a tough time dealing with the loss of her cat. I'm very empathetic towards that. Can you even imagine the train wreck disaster I'm going to be one day when my cats pass away? I can't think about it too long or I get myself all worked up about it, so I'm very empathetic. But how sad is it to see that she's clearly distraught over this huge loss in her life, but in between these posts about her cat dying, she's interspersing these slides about the Monate 2-for-1 Rejuvenique oil sale that's going on. So my impression is that it's really unfortunate that perhaps she feels as if she's not allowed to take the whole day off to grieve or to get off social media, and she feels like she has to kind of push through and make time to promote this sale despite it all, even though maybe that feels like the last thing she wants to do at this particular moment. And we see this all the time of people in MLMs posting MLM promotions at really inappropriate points, like from their hospital bed or right after their dad's funeral, or in this case, right after their pet has died. And it's almost seen as like a flex or or something? Like, look at me, I'm still pushing through in the face of tragedy, and I'm so committed to working my biz that I'm still gonna show up even in the darkest of days. Like, it's very strange. This does not signal time freedom to me. If you truly did have time freedom like they advertise, you would be able to take the day off to grieve. You would not be posting, my cat died, let me know if you want an oil, I'm so upset, buy one get one free. It's whiplash. Like, what are we doing here? So that's my first impression. How sad is it that she doesn't feel that she's deserving of the day off? My second impression is like, is this a guilt trip tactic? I don't know. It's hard to tell her intention here, but I could definitely also look at this through the lens of like, you should buy from me because I'm going through a tough time right now. I don't know if she's trying to garner sympathy by posting it in this order, in this way. Who knows if that's actually what she's trying to do, but it could come off that way, especially when she decides to mention that she's only 15 oil sales away from earning the Vegas trip. She kind of sandwiches that detail in between saying, I'm not going to be on my phone. We're going to spend time grieving as a family today. But if you want to buy an oil from me so I can go to Vegas, let me know. And by the way, she says that she's not going to be on her phone anymore that day, but she continues to post on her Instagram stories the whole rest of the day. So it just feels weird to me. The timing, the placement, and the phrasing of these Instagram stories. It's hard to tell if she's doing this because she feels pressured to post and to prove that she's a hard worker, or if she's intentionally using the death of her cat to gain some kind of sympathy so that she can sell enough oils to go to Vegas. Either way, very upsetting to see. The next thing I'm going to show you is a video from somebody in the MLM company le-vel. This is about a 5-minute video where she's essentially explaining that you shouldn't trust all the bad information about MLMs out there and that you should believe her instead when she tells you that it's actually a great opportunity. With the ultimate goal being, of course, to convince you that her business opportunity and her company are not scams and that you should definitely sign up to be on her team.
Okay, so something I get asked often is, how did I get started in this digital space? Well, 7+ years ago, I was a hater and a skeptic, and I wanted nothing to do with it. I made fun of people that did this, not make fun of them. I was never like ugly, but I made fun of the industry. And the reason being is because I was uneducated. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was a pyramid scheme. I'm like, you make how much money online? Quit lying. Well, truth be told, that's the day and age that we live in now, is affiliate marketing, network marketing. Everybody is on this space promoting for the most part. And if you're not, you should be.
Point number one is that she's kind of saying she used to be a hater who was uneducated, but now she knows the truth about MLMs, and that's why she supports them. This reasoning will never, ever make sense to me. First of all, people who don't like MLMs are not haters. They are people with genuine concerns. And secondly, those concerns are rooted in fact. And the fact being that over 99% of people who join these schemes will end up losing money, and they're financially damaged as a result of getting involved with it. MLMs hurt most people. That is a fact. And that fact is what the anti-MLM movement is built upon. That's why it exists, to caution people against joining these companies, because we don't want people to get hurt. We want to give you the information up front so that you can make an informed decision to stay away from MLMs, where you're most likely going to lose money. But she's kind of implying that if you don't like MLMs, you must be an uneducated hater. I'm just genuinely confused by this logic. It doesn't make sense to me. People who don't want to see people's finances get ruined are haters? Like, what? And point number two from this segment is that she said if you're not using the online space to promote something and to make money, that you should be, because that's the direction of the future. And I disagree wholeheartedly with this. Not everybody wants to make money online or through social media, and that's perfectly okay, because making money that way is unpredictable, it's unstable, it fluctuates due to factors outside of your control. It's not for everybody, okay? And there absolutely is value in being able to clock in and clock out and get paid a set amount for the work that you do. You just don't get that sense of security when you have income streams through social media. And it's perfectly okay for somebody to not want to use their social media to promote or sell something. I just don't love this whole perspective of like, everybody's promoting something on their Instagram, this is the wave of the future, get on the train before you miss it kind of thing, because it doesn't have to be that way. And that's not desirable to a lot of people, and that's perfectly all right. And more importantly, if we talk about MLMs specifically, most people make zero money at all. So no, it's not the money-making wave of the future that she's trying to make it out to be.
Forbes even said that digital marketing is going to be one of the #1 ways to make an income in 2023. So with that being said, you need to learn to monetize monetize your feed.
I want to talk about this whole Forbes digital marketing thing because this is the hot new term that MLM boss babes are referencing right now. I've been sent several things to my Google Drive of different people claiming that like Forbes claims that digital marketing is the way of the future, or this is going to be the highest paying industry in year whatever. So my first question to that is, okay, what is digital marketing? Because I have a hunch that it's not really the same thing as MLMs. According to Investopedia, digital marketing is defined as the use of digital channels to market products and services in order to reach consumers. This type of marketing involves the use of websites, mobile devices, social media, search engines, and other similar channels. Okay, so this is a very broad definition, and I want to make it clear that digital marketing is not a synonym for MLMs. It literally just means that you are promoting your products or services through digital channels like social media, websites, search engines, etc. And I can already see where this is going, where MLM huns are trying to turn the term digital marketing into a synonym, just like they're trying to do with network marketing, affiliate marketing, social selling, social retail, direct selling, direct retail. Like they throw around all of these terms and they're just jumbling them all up and trying to make it seem like all of these things also refer to MLMs. Some of these things are similar to MLMs and some are not similar at all. And it's really confusing to the viewer to understand, what are you actually talking about here? Just please know this, that if Forbes writes an article about the future of, quote, digital marketing, they are not referencing MLMs, okay? And I tried to do some digging and find out which article all these people are talking about, but Forbes has published dozens of articles on the topic of the future of digital marketing within the past few months. I'm not clear on which exact article the MLM huns seem to be attaching onto and using because they never cite their sources, but I can nearly guarantee you that if Forbes publishes something that says digital marketing is the future, they are not saying by default that MLMs are the future. So don't try to insert yourself here. MLMs are notoriously known as recruitment-based money-making schemes, where the primary goal is not to sell a product or service at all. So I have a feeling that MLMs don't fall under the category that Forbes is talking about. If anything, it's my personal opinion that MLM companies are going to start to be on the decline and that the internet is not going to work very well in their favor at all in coming years. Anti-MLM content and awareness is on the rise. More and more people are becoming informed about the dangers of MLMs and they're more savvy at spotting MLM pitches. And I anticipate that that will result in less and less people falling victim to these schemes in coming years, thanks to the information that they're able to find on the internet about them. So personally, I don't see how MLM reps using digital channels like social media or search engines or websites is going to ultimately benefit them. I think they're going to be climbing an uphill battle more than ever.
If you're in network marketing, listen, I have fallen on my face many times. I still fall on my face. That's how you learn and grow and build success. But I've done it where it has been spammy before, but you really don't want to do that. So learn from my mistake. You don't have to cold message. You should never be anything other than authentically yourself. Find a product you love, stick with it. Promote it and help people whenever they're utilizing it. You want a consumable product. You want a product that people can feel with a sample, because when people feel something, they can find the value in it, right? So that's another important thing. Also, when it comes to this digital space, you want to be a part of a company such as, under the umbrella of network marketing, because that's essentially a franchise of an amazing company that's already established. And there's little to no overhead.
Joining an MLM is not the same thing as opening a franchise. This is a piece of misinformation that gets spread around a lot. This is a huge defense that people in MLMs will put up. They'll say, well, it's just like a franchise, so what's the harm? No, you're not a franchise owner. You are a salesperson and a recruiter. Franchise owners don't recruit other franchise owners, because if they did, they would be literally creating competition for themselves, which is bad for business. It's illogical. But recruiting other promoters into an MLM is exactly what you're supposed to do. That's how the compensation plan is designed. So how can you tell me that joining an MLM company is like opening a franchise? It's not. In fact, she's in the company le-vel, and it even states explicitly in their policies and procedures that le-vel promoters are not franchise owners, and that promoters are strictly prohibited from stating or implying either orally or in writing that they are a franchise owner. So nice try with that one.
So for my company, yeah, you can be a free promoter if you want to, or a free affiliate. If you want to snag like an affiliate pack, you absolutely can do that too. That's your prerogative. I suggest it because you can't say something's great if you're not utilizing it. but there's no ongoing fees, there's no mandatory auto ships, and we earn weekly income. So it's pretty cool, pretty simple, and I just feel good. It's been my one constant for over 4 years that I've been with this company, and I feel great. So with that being said, you just have to stop caring what people think. You have to understand that this is your life. And if you constantly don't do things because of the opinions of others, that's going to be really problematic, because this is your one and only life and we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
That's a very eloquent way of saying, don't listen to the haters who have a negative opinion of MLMs. Listen to me instead. I know the truth. Of course she's going to say that because she has a financial motive to do so.
My biggest thing is find something to fall in love with, try a sample of something and know, hey, I want to get behind that because of how good I feel. And I know that I can scream it from the rooftops authentically with passion, not be pushy and shove it down somebody's throat. But genuinely just have a love for it and let people see that and share it with others, all while being the best version of yourself. Because what I get to teach you is, hey, your mess is your message and your story matters. So let's keep that at the forefront of your business. Let's authentically be you. Let's not spam people. Let's actually impact people's lives. Let's serve value. What are 3 to 5 things that represent you? I walk my team through this, and we are very big on our mission statement, which is come as you are and grow into who you're made to be. Yeah. Is it direct sales? Yes. Is there a sale being made when somebody purchases our vitamins or any of our health and wellness products or CBD skincare? Yeah. But you're not leading with that. You're genuinely having a real conversation with people and saying, hey, okay, talk to me about your health goals. Whenever they come to you, say you have somebody that wants to have better energy. Cool. Say, okay, how are your stress levels? How's your sleep? And just have a real conversation, a human conversation. Don't sit here and try to immediately make a sale off of them, and don't treat them as a dollar sign. That's what I see a lot of people do. I also see a lot of people in the space not teach leadership. Leadership, if you're a leader, you're all leaders, but if you're somebody in the space that's been around for a long time, maybe you are at the top rank or very close to the top, you need to be showing up with heart and selflessness, not selfishness, to make a buck. I see that a lot, and a lot of people get burnt out in this industry because they're in the wrong company, on the wrong team, in the wrong community, in the wrong space, where they're actually a dollar sign. And we don't do that here.
I don't know. I just don't buy any of this, you guys. She's saying don't be selfish and don't treat people as dollar signs and have genuine conversations with people. But I'm wondering, how is that even possible? You wouldn't be having conversations with strangers on the internet asking them about their health goals if it wasn't coming from a selfish place, if there wasn't a money motive, if you didn't see them as a dollar sign, if you weren't hoping to sell something at the end of it all. Everything she's saying sounds nice, and that sounds like the right way to go about it, right? Like, don't be selfish, treat people as people, not as dollar signs. But I just don't think that's realistic in practice, because how do you not treat people as a dollar sign or as an opportunity to make money? You're not just talking to strangers on the internet about their health and wellness goals for fun because you have all this free time on your hands. You are absolutely anticipating that that conversation is going to benefit you financially later down the road. You are putting forth the energy to talk to them because you're expecting a financial reward. So I'm confused. I just don't know how you could do this in practice. It sounds great when she's speaking it. I don't think it really works out that way. And in my opinion, I don't really think that there is a right or better way to go about selling an MLM product, because the motive is what matters at the end of the day. The motive is always money. That is what drives your actions. There's nothing more to it.
With our company, you don't need anybody at a certain rank to be a certain rank. It creates a really positive circle of life. So it's really cool. I love what I do, and I love to organically, genuinely do life with this team, and it's amazing. So if this is something that you've been curious about, please understand that not all companies are the same, nor are all mentors or communities. We have tons of systems, tons of resources, literally plug and play with your business until you get the hang of it, and then you can create your own stuff. So you have tons of different Zoom meetings that are optional that you can plug into with other leaders that teach every single day. We have 2 meetings Monday through Friday where you can just plug into your schedule if you want. That's optional, where you learn how to tell your story. You learn social media. You learn all these great things, all while maintaining being authentically you. So it's awesome. And the digital age isn't going anywhere, but keep an open mind with it. Don't be me 7.5 years ago where I mocked it and I judged it. This is something that can genuinely add so much value to your life, help you grow as a person, and bring in really awesome people that will lift you up. If there's people in your circle that doubt you or say you shouldn't do something, it's because they don't have big dreams and goals for themselves. And that's not you, clearly. So I'm super excited to, work with you guys and answer any questions you have, take you under my wing and show you the right way to do this type of business in this digital space.
Ah, yes, the good old, if people are doubting you, there's something wrong with them argument to close this whole thing out. At this point, with so many companies out there to choose from, and the fact that it seems like everywhere you turn, somebody's promoting something, great efforts have to be made by MLM reps to try and convince the viewer that their company is the best, they have the best opportunity, and that they are the best leader. And if you don't like MLMs, that must be either because you're a hater or because something tainted your experience, and we're different because we don't do that here kind of thing. And here's what's so entertaining about all of this is that this video would not exist if she didn't have a motive to recruit you. That tells you all that you need to know. Consider the source, remember the motive. She would not have recorded and posted this video if there wasn't something in it for her. So remember that when you're taking into consideration why she's saying the things that she is saying. Of course, she's going to say that her company is the best because she has that financial motive to recruit you. Of course, she's trying to frame it like Forbes is saying that MLMs are the future or something because that's what she needs you to believe if you're gonna consider joining her team. Of course, she says that she used to hate MLMs because she was so uneducated back then because she wants you to believe that now she is enlightened and now she knows the truth and that MLMs are actually good. The list goes on and on and on. Consider the source, remember the motive always. And next is this Instagram reel that says Google 1 billion in 5 years, Facebook 1 billion in 6 years, Spotify 1 billion in 8 years, Netflix 1 billion in 10 years, Apple 1 billion in 14 years, monate 3 billion in 8.5 years. Okay, so here's the thing about this one. I've been sent several versions of this same exact reel posted by several different people in Monate. It kind of feels like several people are copying and pasting the same set of information and creating their own reels about it. And big shocker, nobody cites their sources. So I have no idea where these numbers came from or what the numbers represent. Is it revenue, sales, profit, the number of customers or users? Like, what am I looking at here? The only thing I know for sure is that Monate has been in business for 8.5 years. So I'm thinking that our best bet is to assume that maybe these numbers are referring to how much the company has made. I think the point of this reel is to give the impression that Monate is a relatively young company and has made more money at a faster rate than these other larger, more popular companies. Like maybe it's saying that it took Google 5 years to make their first $1 billion, or it took Facebook 6 years to make their first $1 billion, but here's Monate making $3 billion in 8.5. But here's the point. I should not have to be asking myself all of these questions and making all of these assumptions. Her reel should be clear about what she's claiming. She should be explicit about what these numbers represent, and ideally she would be able to cite the sources of where she got her information from. And her caption doesn't address any of these things either. She puts like a Warren Buffett quote or something in her caption. She doesn't tell you what these numbers are or why it's relevant. And the fact that we have no idea where this information is coming from or if it's even accurate is telling me that this reel was created for shock value. There's no comments on this post. It doesn't look like anyone has questioned her on where she's getting these numbers from. And she's likely reliant upon the fact that people will just take these numbers at face value and not ask questions. A lot of what goes on in MLMs is reliant upon blind trust and a lack of critical thinking and not asking questions. There's a really good possibility that she saw somebody else in her company post these numbers on a reel and she just copied and pasted them, took the numbers for herself, and she's just blindly believing these numbers and she doesn't even know where they're coming from. I don't even know where the numbers are coming from. My Google searches didn't turn up anything helpful when I tried to find out. I don't have all day to be going around trying to figure out where these numbers came from and verifying that they're accurate. And the point is that anybody can post whatever they want on the internet and they do not have to cite their sources. She could have quite literally made all of these numbers up if she really wanted to. Who would know the difference, right? And that's another problematic aspect of MLMs is that there's very little fact checking and very little accountability for spreading false information. So just keep that in mind next time you see this kind of post on social media. Think about the information critically money and understand that anybody in an MLM can post whatever they want to post. Nobody is there ensuring that what they're posting is true and factual. But let's end with this. Let's assume for a second that all of these figures are factual. Let's assume that they are referring to the amount of money that these companies have made, because I think that's the most logical assumption. It's not surprising to me to see that monate is making significantly more money in their first years as compared to other companies, because monate functions as a multi-level marketing company, and they have a compensation plan in which there's monthly sales quotas, and people have to hit these sales quotas to achieve and maintain their ranks. And also, these sales quotas can partially be met by personal purchases as well. So no crap, if you have hundreds of thousands of monate market partners and they're all spending money on product that they may or may not need to hit quotas and to achieve ranks, it's not surprising that the company would look like it's making a ton of money in its first years on paper. That's because lots of people join these companies in the very beginning, in the first few years, because that is when the opportunity is the best. And all of these people who got recruited are now also the primary customers of that company's products. But this kind of growth is not sustainable because MLM business opportunities tend to get weaker and weaker over time thanks to oversaturation. Basically what I'm saying is that maybe monate has quick growth right in the beginning because it functions like a pyramid scheme and it's going to eventually fizzle out. So even if these numbers are true, they're still not impressive. They still don't prove that monate is a bigger and better company than things like Google, Facebook, Spotify, Netflix, or Apple. And with that, my friends, that's everything I have for you for this MLM Top Fails video. Again, if you come across things on social media that you think would be a good fit, I would love to take a look at them, and you can find the instructions on how to send that to me in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in my next one real soon.